Doo-doo-dee. It's Nandi!
Hello friends. In anticipation of the upcoming 1-year anniversary of Tacticus, I thought it would be a good time to start a beginner series. Starting any new game can be complex, with lots of information to wade through. The idea with this series is to give newer players simple tutorials to get them into the game, and advice about how and where to spend their resources. I have to give a big shout out to my friend Talon, who has been a driving force for this series. For this Indomitus video, I'll walk you through the campaign, the core characters, enemies, general strategy, and best allies to bring along. Everything is timestamped and chapter marked for you to skip ahead as needed. Campaigns are your way to farm gear, which is then in turn used to upgrade and make your characters stronger. Each campaign requires you to use specific characters against enemies, and the Indomitus campaign is no different. Here, you will be expected to use your Ultramarines against the Necrons. Campaigns are also a way to unlock new characters. For example, when you beat the end boss in each chapter of the campaign, you will be able to farm character shards for that character, and also give yourself a chance to pull them from requisitions. Each campaign has 3 core characters that you are required to use to beat each node. For Indomitus, you have to bring the 3 pictured on screen. Starting on the left, we have Tigrius. Varro is the chief librarian of the Ultramarines faction and brings his psychic damage and skills to bear on enemies. His active does a chain psychic damage attack, and his passive provides additional block for adjacent allies. Certus is a ranged damage dealer that effectively functions as a sniper, gaining bonuses for being stationary and hiding in terrain. His active fires a heavy damage shell as an enemy to knock them back, and his passive reduces incoming damage if he is already taking advantage of reduced enemy hits, such as hiding in tall grass. The final of these 3 core characters is Bellator, the Inceptor Sergeant. He summons allied Inceptors through his active ability to help you overwhelm enemies and dominate the battlefield. Apart from Bellator, these characters generally don't have much game use or value outside of this campaign. I would therefore caution against investing heavily into their skills. The idea is to invest just enough to get you through the campaign, and not beyond that. These characters fall away quite quickly when you progress through the game and enter other game modes. The Indomitus campaign is made up of 4 enemy Necron units, summarised here on this slide. Probably the most important to talk about is the Scarab Swarm. This unit has a unique swarm mechanic, which means that they cannot be conventionally killed like other characters. The unit represents a swarm of 5 tiny scarabs, each hitting on their own and requiring 5 hits to fully defeat. They have an ability that allows them to summon another scarab swarm, and if you don't deal with these scarabs, then they can quickly get out of control. The flayed ones are the melee Necron warriors who deal damage and punish you for being in close combat against them. Deathmark are the heavy weapon Necron unit, and in a similar fashion to your own Ultramarine, Certus, they get advantages for remaining stationary and attacking. The final of the 4 campaign units is the Necron Warrior, who does not have any unique abilities. All of the Necrons share 2 common traits. Living Metal means that they regenerate 10% of their maximum health each turn. This means that ideally you want to fully kill 1 unit at a time, rather than spreading your damage around. The Necrons also have reanimation protocols, which means that they have a small chance to revive themselves when they are defeated. The only way to negate this protocol is to overkill the Necron. In terms of general strategy, the concepts to apply are simple. This is, after all, the first campaign that you have access to, and the game designers have accordingly made things simple to understand. You'll see in this gameplay footage how the scarabs are replicating. You can click on each of the swarms in turn to note the active ability, Summon Scarab. If the ability is greyed out, it means that the unit cannot use this ability anymore. However, if the ability is in green, then the unit still has that potential. Try and focus down the scarabs with the green ability so that you can keep these enemies in check. The other thing worth demonstrating through video footage is how Overkill works. Overkill triggers when you deal twice the enemy's health. It represents destroying the enemy so completely that there is no chance for them to reanimate or come back to life. However, overkilling a full health target can be a bit more difficult than killing one who is on their last legs, as shown here on the screen. Note here the skull with the additional crack on it. This is a visual prompt that overkill will happen when you target this enemy. Try and prioritize overkills whenever you can. The keen-eyed amongst you will have noticed that for several of the missions you can bring 5 characters, not just the core 3. Here you can see the characters that I would recommend leveling for this campaign, if you have them available. Isabella is a healer character who can help keep your team alive and push through content. She's probably the best healer in the game. Yarrick is available through special offer as soon as you start playing the game. He summons Cadian Guardsmen, and his summons go off to do the dirty work while your other characters remain in safety. Thaddeus is a strong character if you have him unlocked, and is often used in the endgame. His attack is another strong Scarab killer. Ulf works well against Scarab swarms. His passive is tailor-made to kill summoned units. The last two characters I have highlighted in yellow, because they are not necessarily top tier, but they are available for free and come to you organically by playing the initial missions and playthrough. Vindicta is good at clearing scarabs and is a powerful option in the early game for modes like Arena. Incisus is another healer who isn't quite as powerful as Isabella, but is still reasonably good at keeping your characters alive. There is your beginner's guide to the Indomitus campaign. Snowprint have kindly agreed to support this video with some character giveaways for a new player. Leave a comment below and I'll pick some lucky winners to give away these character shards to. If you've enjoyed this video, pop Talon's referral code as pictured on screen. It will earn you 100 Blackstone and also support him in the great work that he does for the community. That's all for now, folks. See you soon, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button on your way out. Bye.
Doo-doo-dee. It's Nandi.